Here with Boomer USA in Wilmington, North Carolina. Today we're taking a look at the iMove, brand new wall pull-down unit from Boomer. Let's start off with what it's going to look like coming out of the box. So I went ahead and opened up the box. First off, we have the installation instructions. Next we have a template. We have the iMove itself. Go ahead and stand that up. And we have a hardware bag. These are our cover caps for after we're done with the installation. Very well packaged in bubble wrap. And finally our screw bag. And that's about it out of the box. Next up, we'll take a look at the installation inside of a frameless cabinet. We're here at the cabinet before we install the iMove. It makes sense for us to just do a couple quick checks of the dimensions to make sure that we've got the right equipment for the right cabinet. This cabinet that we have here happens to be a 24-inch frameless cabinet with 3/4 sides. That gives us a 22.5-inch interior dimension. But note that iMove will work with either 5/8-inch thick panels or 3/4-inch thick panels. Same hardware, it doesn't care whether you have a 5/8 or a 3/4. They do come in two different versions, so if you have a face frame cabinet, you'll order different hardware than you will with a frameless cabinet. So be mindful of that. Ultimately, you want to check your catalog for the proper part numbers based on the cabinet size that you have. Once you've done that, there are just a couple other things you want to check. You want to make sure that you have enough depth inside of the cabinet. We require 11 inches. We're good here at 11.5. The next is the hinge protrusion. We want to make sure that we're losing no more than 28 millimeters or just over an inch. And in this case, we're at about 19 millimeters. So we're going to be good there. I think that's about it before we get into the installation of the actual iMove unit. Okay, so we've got the template out of the box. I just wanted to show you a couple things here. This is a two-sided template, so you see a left and a right hand. There's a couple things you're going to do to adjust the template to your cabinet condition. You should always refer to the installation instructions for those details. But just to give you a quick rundown, there are different dotted lines where you would trim this based on the depth of your cabinet. And this template is used for either the single or double shelf. So in the case of a single shelf, we can simply just fold this over or cut the top of that template off before using it in the cabinet. Next up, we'll show you where we're going to drill just 3 holes, 5mm diameter holes in each side of the cabinet, and then we'll be ready to put the iMove into the cabinet. Okay, so we've taped the template to the left-hand side of the cabinet. I'm just going to go ahead and drill our 3 holes. These are 5mm diameter holes, and we need 3 of those per side. And we'll do that left and right hand. Okay, so we've gone ahead and put the iMove into the cabinet. So far we're just sitting it in there, and we're going to show how this just is sliding up into the positioning holes that we pre-drilled. So again, you pre-drilled those 5mm holes and 3 per side, and it's just a matter of lining it up until you get them into those holes. The beauty of this is now I can let go of this thing, and that's solid in there, but for permanent installation, we'll go ahead and put some screws in there. And it's going to give 4 screws per side. And then each side gets a cover cap. It just snaps on. And then we would repeat the same thing on the right-hand side. Okay, so we've completed the installation of the iMove. You see that we put one of the doors on just to show you how it's going to interact with the door. keeping in mind that standard 110, 120 degree hinge is going to be the best for you in this application, no more than 28 millimeter hinge protrusion into the opening. But in this case, you can see we're clearing this hinge with no issue. iMove pulls in, goes into the cabinet without any issue. Just a couple other notes related to the iMove. We've gone ahead and added some weight to this. It does hold up to 18 pounds regardless of the size or configuration of the iMove that you've chosen. And it will hold its position anywhere along that range of motion. You can see I've let go and it didn't drift. That's really set for an ideal movement between 5 and 12 pounds. You can consult your instructions for further details on that. And one last detail I do want to point out to you is that there is a soft close action on that. So with load on there, it's not going to fly up. Before we let you go, one favor I want to ask to you, the installer. Let's keep these the hang tag and the user manual inside of the cabinet until it gets to the homeowner. That's going to offer them some tips on how to use iMove and make it the most comfortable for them. We appreciate your business at Kesselbimmer. We'll talk to you next time.